Now, is anybody sitting in the seat you were sitting in last year at Michigan now? They don't have that anymore.
With the signals?
Yeah.
Not to my knowledge.
What else outside of signals? Obviously, you're known for being the signal master, but I think everyone understands that like signal stealing is like you're trying to gain whatever advantage you can. Like every locker room, every meeting I've been in, you're trying to break down whether it's coach's copy or TV copies.
Mm-hmm.
You got somebody up there giving a presentation on signals. Whatever you do with it is ultimately up to you. It depends on how much information you can retain. But what else outside of the spectrum of signals was kind of like your bread and butter? Was it like 2-minute drills or situations in there?
Yeah, I mean, one of the beauties at Michigan, Coach Harbaugh hired a great staff to recruit great players. And he just empowered his staff. So there was a lot of overlap between it wasn't like if on paper I'm a recruiting guy, I wasn't only doing recruiting, right? Or if you're a defensive analyst, you're not only breaking down third down or people helping each other out a lot, filling in gaps when needed. But during the season, it was, a little bit of recruiting, mostly, I was in every defensive staff meeting, you're game planning. I'm breaking down film, prepping linebacker meetings for Coach Partridge. So, because it's a race, right? Like the thing that people don't realize is I know you guys realize it, but from Sunday morning to kickoff on Saturday, it's literally who can prepare faster than their opponent.
Mm-hmm.
And, the linebacker coach, for example, should not be the guy that is going in and finding the specific clips for the meeting. He's the one coaching the clips. You are going through, so I would go through the film and pick out, what he wanted for the linebacker meeting, for example, stuff like that. And also breaking down opponents. So like I was mentioning that formation tendencies, stuff like that, because Monday for the linebackers might be, first and second down. What do they do on first and second down? Mm-hmm. Tuesdays may be, short yardage goal line. Wednesdays might be third and long, whatever it is, however you break that down. And so I would prepare the meetings for the backers, every day. And then, the signal stuff, because that was, again, it was just a portion of the job, is something I just did anytime I didn't have, I had some free time to, okay, we're done prepping for linebacker meetings, practices in an hour. I'm gonna crank out an hour of this. Mm-hmm. And then I try to finish that by Tuesdays, usually Wednesday, and then give myself 2 days to memorize everything, memorize my sheet, feel comfortable with it. And the tough part is this goes for everyone though, right? Because again, you play your opponent and then you're done. So for me, it was play your opponent. I'm not kidding. Maybe with the exception of like Ohio State and Michigan State, I might remember a few, but an hour after the game, I could not tell you a single signal that I just remembered for that game, because it's on to whoever the next opponent is. Right. Like I don't care about
being as present as possible.
Yes. So, and usually I would try to get a couple days ahead. So like if let's just say, let's say I were there now and we're playing Illinois in a couple weeks after the bye, and then who's after them? Michigan State.
Yeah.
So I would try to finish Illinois. Well, pretend there's no bye week. Pretend we're in Illinois week right now. I would try to finish them by Tuesday, maybe Wednesday at the latest. And then by Thursday morning, it's like two separate mind frames where one, I am calmly memorizing my sheet for the Illinois game and also getting ahead with Michigan State so I can finish them by the following Tuesday. Because I always want to give myself a couple days to, as I'm sure everyone does, for everything they do, whether it be coordinating, play calling, or coaching your position, or being an actual player. Like you want to at least you don't want to be like racing all the way up until kickoff and your mind's going 1,000 different directions. So that is kind of how I scheduled everything for myself.
like during the week, you say like, yeah, like in the league, it would be like Wednesday would be like first and second down. Thursday would be all third down type
and
stuff.
Short yardage
then the red zone and stuff like that. But we'd have assisting coaches like Mike Sullivan would always break down in front of the entire offense. These are the blitzes these teams do. Did you ever get to sit in front of the entire defense? And
no, because I was an analyst, and up until this year, analysts could not do like on field, could not instruct players or anything like that.
Yeah.
You could only assist the coaches. So I would prepare, like I would help Coach Partridge, for example, if he had short yardage goal line, I would help him prepare the clips for that and the organization of that meeting. Yeah.
Were there a couple defensive players that gravitated toward all the information and knowledge you had of the X's and O's?
I mean the
guys that understand it in the details.
Yeah, a lot of the players. I mean, even like Mikey Sainer still is. I mean, I've learned some of the defense from him. Like some of these, these guys are really smart, great leaders. Mikey's probably the best non-military leader I've ever been around.
Really?
Yes, he is. He's that guy. I mean, he started as a receiver, and then flashbacks. He had that nice catch, that diving catch in Lincoln, Nebraska, that night game as a receiver. And then the very next year changes to nickel, and he's our starting nickel and one of the best nickels in the country, just like that. But I mean, he's a guy that he led by example, and he was not afraid to check anyone. But I mean, I was close with a lot of the players because this is like a brotherhood. I was 28 years old at the time, and they're anywhere from 18 to 23. So like I'm closer in age to them than they are to the coach, like the full-time coaches. So yeah, I was pretty close with the majority of the team. It truly was like a family atmosphere where, I mean, everyone got along with everyone. And that goes back to Coach Harbaugh hiring a great staff and that great staff recruiting just the right people.
I know we're getting kind of close to that hour 30 mark right now. I had a question about Exos, and I heard a rumor that there was pirating videos going on from Exos, the film company.
The software, yeah.
That was actually taking Michigan's practice film and giving it to other Big Ten teams. Do you have any knowledge of that at all?
I don't know what Exo's role would be or
allegedly
not be in
Exos.
that.
This allegedly.
Yeah, well, most teams, have Exos. There's DV Sport too. All I'll say is I have seen other Big Ten schools' signals. I'm talking the original signal film that was like a GA doing the signals in the quarterback room, right? Like the players would have on catapult to study. I've seen other teams' signals of that the people who showed me that claim they got it from Ohio State.
Oh,
interesting.
I've seen that with my own eyes.
So people that have the play calls,
like Ohio State, for example, may have traded that to someone for a different team's signals or whatnot, and that someone may have shown me, dude, you better be careful because look at what they got. And I'm like, holy cow.
They made you aware of it.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
And that's probably illegal, right?
I'm not a lawyer.